coming online in just a minute.
The river signal.
It's 6:06 sharp, about time to start tonight's River Signal Radio Hour. We're broadcasting, as always, from the bow of the Channel Princess Riverboat. And tonight, we're on the Cumberland River, floating toward downtown Nashville, Tennessee, broadcasting our final show ever. Or until we decide to do it again.
Tonight we'll be sharing everything a river traveler needs to know about the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers, the bends and mud banks, hitches and snags, flora and megafauna and megafungus, and every other treasure and peril from there to here and here to there.
The Tennessee River, colored as coffee with creamer, begun black, mud run, silted, like my grandmother takes hers.
River mile -32. Interstate 81.
Before the Channel Princess came out to the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers, we only had a vaguest notion of what to expect. While we've come many miles and seen many things, we've really only seen a fraction of what's out here. This week, though, we thought we'd share a few bits of advice for anyone coming up and down these rivers that might be helpful. First things first, if you're hauling a big rig out there, that's a whole raft of hazards to watch out for. Blockades, wind, bad coffee. And when making excursions overland, maintain your stores at all times. I can't tell you how many times how easy it is to run dry on provisions on the open road. Once you've paid all your bribes to the Roadhouse kids and pretzel sticks and guava juice, you'll be harder pressed than you thought. And nothing ruins an open-air highway high than running empty in the backwoods. Take it from me. But even in all the chaos, give yourself time to soak up your surroundings. Gaze at the fireflies in the fields and the dark rainbow of a sunset chasing you.
Hey there, Lou. When I look across the desert, all I see is you. And in my eyes, you go on forever, so I guess that's why it's gotta turn out alright. And in this mountain range, you'll come here when you're older, and I hope it's the same. And it'll be your turn to get washed in the rain. When you wake up, you ask, where have I gone? And though the time goes fast, I know it's gonna be too long. So in the countryside, maybe you'll come back when you can taste the wine. Everything that's worth it, well, it takes some time. By the ocean wide, can you keep on wading through the rising tide? In this world that we've been burning, can you make a light? When you wake up, you ask, where have I gone? And oh, the time goes fast, I know it's gonna be too long. Hey there, Lou. When I look across the desert, all I see is you. And in my eyes, you go on forever, so I guess that's why it's gotta turn out alright.
The river signal. River mile 652. Knoxville, Tennessee.
Out here on the bow deck. Thanks so much, y'all, for coming out and sharing your music with us. So we've got another tip for all you travelers out there. You're going to want to choose your put-in wisely. You can calculate your ideal ramp depth and pitch using a few simple equations. And of course, you're going to want to check out the neighborhood. Make sure it's the right fit for you and your crew. It is important to introduce yourself to your neighbors, maybe even bring them a Tupperware full of piping hot beetles and mosquitoes. Your ramp ought to be as close to the headwaters as possible, and make sure to motor up to the source, lest your fellow river travelers give you a wedgie and call you a poser. Once you're settled in, invite friends to come over and read some poems, play some songs, eat some goldfish. And once the sun's gone down, get out in the bow into the cool night air, under that cloudless, star-studded sky. Remind yourself where you are. Remind yourself you'll be there for a long, long time. And now our friend Minton Sparks is going to tell us a bit more about how to live that river life.
First issued a DUI on the Mississippi, my gypsy used to say. Out on the bow of a muddy Mississippi barge on a sweltering Delta night, Thelma ached for anchor. She'd been nipping hidden moonshine beneath a cloud of weary. Been cooking in the kitchen since sunup. Her ankles swollen beyond the banks of her shoes. The dark drank the color from her yellow hair. As it fell in whiskey curls around her once beautiful face, Thelma was cursed by extremes. Beauty, a penchant for strong anything, and barge kitchen men. Drunk, driving right down the middle of the muddy waters, she begged the sky a favor. Her answer came on moonshine fumes written against the night. Being too much yourself needs no forgiveness.
The river signal. River mile 553. Eureka, Tennessee.
Another little piece of advice is to enlist a dinghy dog onto your crew. These little lovable craft are ideal for short trips to shore, allowing you to stay connected to land while anchoring out in the bountiful backwater coves. But make sure it's a loyal breed, like a Zodiac Retriever. Otherwise, it might slip its leash and leave you stranded. We spent countless hours looking for our double-hulled Dachshund, only to find him nuzzled up behind another sailor's skiff. And now let's enjoy another fantastic tune from the Montvales.
I'm all in that's been keeping me away, and I know there
stilted footsteps carry me over bridges as a day after storm lilted back to me. Ridges line the hills around the city, make space for river water.
The river signal. River mile 467.
Well, as the river,
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
as it spreads out from its humble roots on the river here, you'll find there's a lot of places to hide out along the main channel. While in the daytime the river might be bright and inviting, by night it can be the domain of deep trawlers and shale dredges that shake the landscape and flash their blinding lights from bank to bank. Better to stay to the backwaters in the evening. There's plenty of sunken pine groves to set your anchor in and set up shop for an evening of stirring soup and spinning the radio dial. Let yourself rinse off the day's grime and let the night crews make their rounds on the channel. Well, now we're back to the cabin for the melodious jabbering of splish and splash. It's everyone's known radio program. It's Boat Talk. Thank you.
The river signal.
Everyone, and welcome to Boat Talk.
For all the new listeners out there, Boat Talk is allegedly a show where we talk about boats and boat repair.
But as our longtime listeners are quite aware, Boat Talk is really just a ramble of half-baked nonsense to fill airtime.
Well, that's what you get when you defund public broadcasting, isn't it?
Did we ever have funding to begin with?
Sure, Captain used to leave us the crust from his sandwiches.
True. Those were better days. And yet, in our undying commitment to the bewilderment and misfortune, we must soldier on, right, Splash?
I wish I'd read the fine print in my contract.
Now, before we continue, we'd like to invite onto the show a very special guest. He's crossed the continent over land just to grace us with his technical knowledge. Please welcome our older
and wiser
brother Sploosh.
Hey, Sploosh.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Mom.
Sploosh is an expert mariner of the non-motorized variety.
That is to say, he actually paddles.
Exploring treacherous and remote desert canyons.
With only necessary tools for survival.
While we putt around like dandies upon our luxurious riverboat.
Oh, come on, boys. Don't sell yourself short. What you're doing is hardcore.
Really?
Yeah, totally. You guys are always swimming in heavily contaminated waters.
That's true.
And confusing slimy sticks for water snakes.
Creeps me out every single time.
And you only have one butter knife to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, we're constantly mitigating butter jam cross-contamination.
Gross.
You know, it really is rough and tumble out here. Yet our ventures are not dissimilar from those of the pioneers of old. We too fearlessly venture into waters previously unknown, led only by our instincts.
And high-resolution maps compiled by an advanced network of low Earth orbit satellites.
And it looks like you guys are your own barbers.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Well, this life we live is not for the faint of heart. Living off lukewarm seltzers and off-brand cereals. At least old Sploosh showed up to share some tips with us and our listeners. How about we take a caller? Hello, you're on Boat Talk.
Why, hello. This is Abraham from Cumberland City.
Abraham, I recall we floated by you just last week on our trip up here to Nashville.
Pretty quiet place. Not how I'd normally think of a city. What do you estimate is the population of that place, Abe?
Well, there's me, my wife Sheba, my brother Hank, our kids Clementine and Pickle. There's our dog Pogo. Do dogs count?
Not quite a bustling metropolis, but an ambitious name, nonetheless.
Yeah.
What keeps you busy in Cumberland City, Abe?
Well, there's been a big dump of wild elderberry this season, so we've been picking and cooking them down into syrup.
Is that the drizzle on your pancakes?
You could do that, or just drink it straight. It's great for migraines, hacking coughs, itchy eyebrows, and restless leg syndrome, too.
Ooh, I got that. That sounds like a classic cure-all.
Indeed it is, and goes for a pretty price. My plan is to ferry a bunch of barrels down to market over Dover, little dory and brings me to my question.
I bet you're wondering how many barrels your little dory can bear.
That's exactly right. I'd like to haul as much as I can without going under.
If I might interject.
Good. I'm glad that you did, by all means.
Well, Abraham, we should be able to solve your problem with a little help from our friend Archimedes.
Well, that's what I thought, but my cousin Archie won't let me have his barge. Says I'd straighten it up on the mudbank.
I'm talking about a different Archimedes. This one lived in Syracuse, and though he kicked the bucket a few millennia back, he left us with the key to making heavy boats float.
That's right. Archimedes discovered that the buoyant force exerted on a semi-submerged object depends on how much water it displaces.
In other words, the shape of your boat's hull will determine how much syrup it can carry.
What's the length and width of your dory?
Well, it's pretty good size. I'd say about 12 foot long, 4 foot wide.
And when it's just you and Pogo aboard, how high are the gunnels above the water?
About a foot.
Alrighty, so if we multiply those three dimensions, we get a total above water volume of 48 cubic feet.
Now we can convert that to gallons by multiplying the whole thing by 7.5.
That's right, and calculate the buoyant force by multiplying the total volume by the weight of the displaced water.
And there you have it. Your dory will start sinking at just about 3,000 pounds.
Simple.
Well, that's a lot of barrels. Each barrel of syrup weighs about 100 pounds, so I suppose I could carry about 25 barrels and have a bit of freeboard to spare.
Yeah, you just be careful, Abe. You'll be riding with a deeper draft, so stay out of the shallows.
And bring a bucket for bailing. One sizable wake from a passing barge is surely going to swamp you.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate you. Come say hi if you ever come back through Cumberland City. I live on 1st and Main.
Thank you, Abe. We will absolutely look you up.
Well, folks, this is the last time you'll miss the water taxi because you were dozing off to boat talk.
That's right. Thankfully, this is our final episode.
And yet, the indelible spirit of doing it yourself will indubitably live on in all of our listeners.
Thanks, everyone, for inexplicably tuning in, especially those of you who have caught all of our episodes.
Namely, our moms.
Hi, Mom!
And thanks to Sploosh for making the transcontinental commute to be on our show.
Anytime.
All right. Well, Boat Talk is written by Making Shit Up.
Our nautical expert is Hope Shuffleoat.
Our galley chef is Kat Fishigan.
Our legal expert is Sue Amal.
Our resident naturalist is IZ Beavers.
Our chief mechanic is Otto Gasagan.
Our expert navigator is Ari Dariet.
And our stunt double is Cameron Fodder.
Thanks again for listening, and
Don't paddle like my brothers!
Wow. Thanks as always for that sage advice, my friends. Now we're going to head out to the bow to hear one from our dear friend Teddy Lee Wilder, currently piloting this rig, so let's see if he gets behind the helm safely here. He'll be playing a song written by another pal of ours, Elizabeth Pixley Fink, who was part of our project on the Mississippi in 2015. This is a real special song, and I'm really glad we can have it out in the river today.
There's a riverbed between us, and a rain that just won't fall, and a breath we breathe that lets us say anything at all. Oh, meet me by the water, my silent animal, when I come naturally when you come naturally to me. There's more to life than us two, than the known and the absurd, and we'll never stop to listen till we don't know the words. Feel you by the eyes, I'm gonna love you where it hurts, when I come naturally to you, when you come naturally to me. Take it, Reed. Well, we set this ship to sailing in a clamor and a din. Shove all our hopes inside her, for the love can even begin. Well, when you know it all by heart, that's when the knowing lets you in. When I come naturally to you, when you come naturally to me, when I come naturally to you, when you come naturally to me.
The river signal. River mile 352. Guntersville Lake, Tennessee.
Past Chattanooga, the river and its banks just grow and grow. You, however, will stay the same size. You will suddenly feel very small. You will pontificate about prehistory, the circularity of time, and whether you're living in a simulation. At times, the river will get quite shallow, and so you'll want to make sure your depth finders are functioning properly. Since it's such a lonely stretch, you'll need to travel far to fetch supplies. It is thus imperative that you keep your secondary vehicles in fine fettle. Eventually, the banks will draw closer, other boats will appear, and you'll round a bend and find yourself before a big concrete wall with a tiny concrete elevator. So you'll get on the horn, call up the lockmaster, and ask if you can pretty please ride that elevator. Once you're inside, get comfortable. It's going to take a while. Play a tune or two, do some push-ups, contemplate prehistory and the circularity of time. And when the doors open, float on through.
Here we go. I got the keys to the kingdom. The world can't do me no harm. I got the keys to the kingdom. The world can't do me no harm. I keep the keys in my bosom. I carry 'em everywhere I go. I keep the keys in my bosom. I carry 'em everywhere I go. There's a 7-year-old in a Shoney's booth just studying her Cinderella coloring book while her mama busses a syrup-stained 6-top piled with half-eaten waffles. Her mama whips a big pin from behind her ear, spins around and takes an order from a couple of sheer ingrates. Would you like those scattered, smothered, and covered, hon? Meanwhile, her little girl watches the first lunar space mission woman taking off around the world. I got the keys to the kingdom. The world can't do me no harm. I got the keys to the kingdom. The world can't do me no harm. I keep the keys in my bosom. I carry 'em everywhere I go. I keep the keys in my bosom. I carry 'em everywhere I go. Over here there's a school bus driver on holiday. She's ordered some room service pizza to celebrate. She's got a hot wedge angled in her mouth. Her old man threatens to lock her up in that motel room. Rattles a sack of bourbon, says, "Oh, I'll be back soon." And then he switches the channel to porn and mouths to her, "Enjoy." Meanwhile, she watches Diana Nyad swim from Cuba to Key West on TV. Got the keys to the kingdom. The world can't do me no harm. I got the keys to the kingdom, and the world can't do me no harm. I keep the keys in my bosom. I carry 'em everywhere I go. I keep the keys right here in my bosom. I carry 'em everywhere I go. Over here, in a poorly lit gym in a tiny town in Tennessee, the game clock has stopped. Number 23 stands at the foul line. This was the state finals, y'all, and the game is in overtime. She spins that ball between her two hands. The crowd is so loud, they stomp in the stands. Miss it, girl! Miss it! Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is making a full comeback in the WNBA on TV. I got the keys to the kingdom. The world can't do me no harm. I got the keys to the kingdom, and the world can't do me no harm, 'cause I keep the keys in my bosom. I carry 'em everywhere I go. I keep the keys in my bosom, right here. Carry 'em everywhere I go.
The river signal. River mile 256. Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Any successful river traveler knows how to be resourceful. Slapdash engineering goes far when you're leagues away from civilization. Make sure you've got a good toolkit, or at least a solid set of vice grips, and the essential materials like duct tape, old inner tubes, and baling wire. These basic supplies paired with a little ingenuity can really get you out of a pinch. Don't be afraid to try fixing it yourself, and if you run too far ashore, you can always call up those brothers on Boat Talk. They'll bail you out, or at least make you laugh trying.
Barges traverse slowly the Tennessee as it seeps southward, west, north, then back. I see from Gay Street, all my family's known from birth, the slips of speech, slid vowels, all stemming from a southern source.
The river signal. River mile 136. Beach River.
Well, the river is a social place. While you may hear your friends every week on the airwaves, it's always a good idea to actually go out and meet your neighbors. You may find that those you share the waterways with will surprise you with the wisdom and their skill at dominoes. Time and time again, we found an unusual creature or two floating alongside with a good story to share. Keep your ears perked on, and you may too. And now, we'll hear a little story from our first mate, Brian Benson, front deck.
Going to read a little piece that I read at the beginning of this trip. And I guess it kind of captures the spirit that I hope to keep once we all get off of this boat. It's called Against Afternoon. You hear a lot of chatter about canceling daylight savings time, but not nearly enough about abolishing the afternoon, and more specifically mid-afternoon, and even more specifically 3:27 p.m. An hour that is whatever is the antithesis of the witching hour, the adulting hour, the working through food coma hour, the 1,000-foot stare hour. At least in the country I live in, a country that doesn't believe in the siesta, that believes above all in making, or at least pretending to make, so many things that so few people need or even want. And so 3:27 p.m. every day is when those of us who haven't yet managed to suffocate our every mammalian instinct feel a little itchy, a little twitchy, a little like ripping off our clothes and slathering our genitals with mud and ripping rotten fruit from trees with our teeth, which of course we don't do, because we have bosses, because there are no trees in our Zoom rooms, because mud is hard to come by when you're sweating through the 9th year of drought. A thing we might have avoided if we'd all taken less business trips and more siestas, but of course we didn't, and we still don't, because we're working for the weekend. And especially the summer weekend, that recurring fever dream in which everyone is everywhere, and toothy smiles are mandatory, and the global volume knob is cranked up to 10, 11, 12, cranked so loud that you cannot hear thoughts or even think thoughts, cannot do much besides feel what everyone and everything around you is feeling, a feeling like the greenish-gray color you get when you pour all the paint into one bucket. A color we ought to call 3:27 p.m., though maybe we shouldn't even bother to call anything, because no one will hear, not at 3:27 p.m., when we're too busy making spreadsheets and subtweets and cash and trash and noise, so much noise, making it and marketing it, eating it and breathing it, shouting and shitting and mowing and blowing it, and yeah, fine. I know we can't do it. We can't make a single minute now and forever disappear. But as I sit here staring at a screen at 3:27 p.m., I can't help but wonder how much, or rather, how little, might happen if we all laid down our weapons, found some dirt to sit in, called our coffee mug a moon, and slid it over the sun, and finally let ourselves listen, for one holy, stolen minute, to the sound of the sweet something that is nothing happening.
Sunday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers with a slight chance of thunderstorms.
If I die first, just put me in the grand old fancy hearse. Idle while you're still around, go down to the river, swim until you get your fill. Left you a six-pack and a rope swinging my will. If I die first, before your long journey's done, baby, grab your purse. We're gonna race that setting sun. I got the answer, prancer, dancer, baby, don't you cry. I'll be there waiting for you, darling, on the other side. If I die first, send me away with something sweet. What could be worse? When leaving dust on banjo strings, time's a ticket, baby, we should dance. Get me low, I won't break. Spin me while you got the chance. And even if I fall, you'll dance again. If I die first, if I die first.
Signal. River mile 25. Land between the lakes.
Near the mouth of the Tennessee, the river becomes a lake, or maybe a sea. For millennia, capricious men have been flooding this valley, submerging stick nests in townhomes, cornfields, and cemeteries. Humans have mostly been wiped out. Only the birds remain. Or rather, the birds and the spirits. In the floodlands, you will encounter ruins, artifacts, haunted places. These places may scare you, but you must explore them, because if you don't, your fellow river travelers will give you a wedgie and call you a poser. So tie your boat to crumbling concrete, crunch around on broken glass, inspect the ancient hieroglyphics. Listen to the voices whispering from the cracks in the concrete and whisper back to them. Don't leave a stone unturned, a staircase undescended. And when you've seen and done it all, find yourself a little hidey hole behind a sweet pea gravel spit. Lay your anchors, clean off the day's grime, make sure to say hi to the moon.
There's a deep, dark hole in the mountain where the devil sleeps all the time. Garden is gold from them boys young and old, from the men who worked in the mine, from the men who work in the mine. There's a deep, dark hole in the mountain where the devil sleeps every day. Stealing his gold, yes, us boys young and old, we're gone, but not far away. Said we're gone, but not far away. Devil's dream in the mountain, hauling it down to the mill. Day after day, drawing their pay from the deep, dark hole in the hill. From the deep, dark hole in the hill. There's a deep, dark hole in the mountain. That last shot was a bomb. Let's muck her out, boys, and roll her up and blow her to kingdom come. Yes, let's blow her to kingdom come. Oh, devil's dream in the mountain, hauling it down to the mill. Day after day, drawing our pay from the deep, dark hole in the hill. From the deep, dark hole in the hill. From the deep, dark hole in the hill.
The river signal.
Up here. Ride that wave. And now, I'm going to advise you, while keeping my balance, that you should never be afraid to ask for help. I'm sure you consider yourself an old river rat, some tough cookie that refuses to crumble, but everyone needs a lift sometimes out on the water. Rather than route finding through mucky side channels, consider dropping in at your neighborhood haunt and ask how the locals get around. I know, you lose the satisfaction of finding your own way, but little navigation tips can save you from burning excess fuel while trying to plow through swamp grass. And while you could filter water through a washcloth or sustain yourself on a diet of pawpaw and alligator gar, sometimes it's good to check your pride and accept the hospitality of others.
tell you anything. We're going. I want to tell you a story about Cheryl Lynn. Cheryl Lynn is that musky woman after work. She's got a stolen Rembrandt in her purse. And she is idling at the open mic at a downtown club. She's got a box of unlit matches in her mouth. If her jaw relaxes, Lord, I'm afraid barn swallows will swarm out. In this world where humans end and birds begin. Lord, she's a love dove of a woman, but an insomniac, peddling peace to us with this little olive branch. What the hell she got to be sorry for? She keeps one white feather tucked behind each ear. Will you wave with me to her imaginary friends over there? Hi, Amaya Angelou. Dorothy Allison, is that you? Tom Waits. Anise Mojgani. Who among us in this crowd have doused a dream never uttered out loud? There is strength in numbers, they say. Never forget that gorilla named Regret, brandishing a bayonet dangling off a chandelier. Or the pig named Patriarchy, honking the horn in the parking lot. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, shit, forget about him. This is about Cheryl Lynn. Perched like a promise on the edge of our stage, like a hummingbird bumping on the bars of a cage, never speaking, just peck, 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 pecking at the mic. One night he causes this shrill feedback, and Cheryl Lynn thinks, oh yeah, this is what real music sounds like in this world where humans end and birds begin. If the walls grow quiet, Cheryl Lynn just might take flight on the long arm wings of what looks like she's shooting us both the peace sign and the middle finger. Is it peace? Or fuck you? Oh, let's pray it's peace. Her beak lips do quiver as she skywrites this love letter to a raptor writhing in her chest. It's a violent dance of thrash and rest, thrash and rest, till upper throat and out her mouth. Oh, you're not gonna believe it, but this wise old bird turns her insides out in this world where humans end and birds begin. In the final throes of this transfiguration, you may feel like you've had to live through her degradation. Oh, but she dances, baby, like a car-struck cat, confused for chasing butterflies. I want to rise and cheer for Cheryl Lynn, for all those years of suffered silence. But then I find I'm deathly quiet before the throne of her. Woman seems self-taught to me. There at the end of the performance, it's coming to a close. And Lord, she knows what she knows. Ah, she knows what she knows. Though she's never actually yet spoken. Ah, but look at the rust on her wrists from the chains that she's broken. She flits and flutters back to her seat, darts in and dares us, kissing our cheek, baptizing a boldness we may or may not seek. From the back of the club, that's where her wings start to sprout. Perhaps it's then that she shouts. Who among us has never spoken, say I? Who among us has never spoken?
The river signal.
Well, eventually,
River mile 191. Nashville, Tennessee.
every river traveler gets somewhere they're going and has to look forwards and backwards to make sense of where they've been and what comes next. It's worth taking a moment to really appreciate a voyage completed. Give yourself a few days to sample the new swimming holes and local concoctions. Get yourself lost in a crowd and wander off onto some forgotten island. Remember to look both ways, backwards to where you've been and forwards to where you might go. But there's time for all that. Who knows what riverway might come next? For now, you can let your eyes defocus on the bright lights and hum yourself along to the droning chorus out on the signal.
There's a red hawk on the south side. We approach slowly and look him in the eyes for a time. And I will borrow an extra half hour to stand here with your hand in mine and slowly find ourselves 200 feet above the Tennessee, still as the seasons keep changing, with your arms around me. Our little backyard fire was going wild in the wind. I turned to you and said, I don't think I will ever be warm again. But you'll turn the heat up to 80, yeah. You'll turn down the lights and cover me up. The whole damn world's so scary lately. Well, the biblical floods come once or twice a year now, and it's too much sorrow for this town to allow. So if to you God was a man all alone in a tiny brown room, who could blame you? But I'll turn the heat up to 80, yeah. I'll turn down the lights and cover you up. The
Broad and Holston run afoul, combine to create a kind of churning, like the turn from a steamboat's bowels. Shifting paddles under bridges, past vining, past running, past searching, past finding.
Now we're going to play one last song to take us out of here. We'll see if we get everyone on the deck in time here. Got some shuffling to do. Thanks for hanging out with us both on this broadcast and all the others. Appreciate you looking in on our Tennessee River trip here.
All right, well, we've been out on the Tennessee and Cumberland Rivers, Tennessee Rivers, and we figured the best way to end this was to play the Tennessee Waltz.
Let's kick it off.
Let's do it.
Dancing with my darling, the Tennessee Waltz, when an old friend I happened to see introduced him to my loved one, and while they were dancing, that friend stole my sweetheart from me. I remember the night of the Tennessee Waltz, and I know just how much I've lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing that beautiful Tennessee Waltz.
Banjo.
Darling, the Tennessee Waltz, when an old friend I happened to see. I introduced him to my loved one, and while they were dancing, that friend stole my sweetheart from me. I remember the night of the Tennessee Waltz. Now I know just how much I've lost. Yes, I've lost my little darling the night they were playing that beautiful Tennessee Waltz.
All right. Oh, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Wow.
So, quick thank you to all the incredible performers who came out and shared songs, stories, and so much more on the boat tonight. And thanks to all of you out there who spent your Saturday, it is a Saturday indeed, Saturday night, listening to the River Signal. The River Signal is written and recorded aboard this Channel Princess riverboat by Reed Lustig, Brian Benson, and Galen Huckins. Let's, once I get through all the names, give a big hand to tonight's artists. First, I want to thank Elizabeth Pixley Fink, whose song Ted covered, and Jeremy Michael Reed, whose poem was threaded through the middle, the Tennessee River. And here on the boat, we've got, I didn't ask how your names are pronounced, so... Molly Rochelson and Sally Weiss of the Montvales. We have Minton Sparks and John Jackson, Teddy Lee Wilder, and Brooks Lustig. Let's give them all a huge hand before we do anything else. Give yourselves a huge hand, that's what I mean. Special thank you as well to Mindy Cooper, who is holding this camera right here. Joe Friday, who's given us really good welcome down at the dock here. Maybe he's right there on that boat. James Allen, Holly Farrell, and Dan Benson. We've had the best time out on the mightiest of the Tennessee rivers, and we are so grateful to every performer who's joined us over the course of the last 2 months, and to all of you who have tuned in week after week. Looking at you, Brooks. If you missed a show, you can catch all the replays and find more videos, stories, and rumors from our trip at riversignal.com. And now we will conclude our show and say a fond farewell to the Tennessee River, the Cumberland River, and all the fine folks we met along their banks with the ceremonial dinging of the bell. Maybe Minton, would you like to do the ceremonial ding for us? Right now? All right, let's do it. Woo! All right, thank you everybody and good night.